What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trick 10s. Today we are working on a 1652 Sea Ark. I'm not exactly sure how old this thing is, but in the exact words of the customer, this thing has been rode hard and put up wet. This boat actually came from a government auction. It came from Maryland. The guy went up there and checked it out and bought it. It did have some type of a long-tailed mud motor on it. Apparently, he told me they bought like a fleet of these back in like 2015 or something, and they were using them to hunt varmints. They had some type of issues with them out in the river, and I don't really know the whole logistics behind it, but he got this boat for a good deal, and there's a reason why, because the transom on this thing is screwed up. So we're going to be doing some work on this transom, trying to fix this thing up. He's trying to decide whether or not he wants to keep this boat or another boat that he has and what he's going to do with them. But regardless, he's got to get this transom fixed up before he can sell it or keep it. I don't exactly know how I'm going to fix this thing yet because it's pretty up, but I'm going to turn this camera around and we're going to figure it out right now. All right, so here it is. Check it out. I guess this was lucky number 13. Now, structurally, like the hull and everything, it looks pretty good. It's been beat to hell, but for the most part, it's in decent shape. Obviously, this thing was probably stored outside. Sea Ark, Monticello, Arkansas. Look at these welds, my God. I'm hoping that that's got to be aftermarket. Somebody welded that. That's not factory. No way. But yeah, check out this transom. This thing is crookeder than a $3 bill. Whew. We got our work cut out for us. It is split about a good 24 inches across here. Cracks. Crack. Same thing on the other side. And up inside of here, well, she's seen better days. That's for sure. Got lots of cracked welds in here. He said when he used the power tilt and trim just to move the motor up and down, this whole thing was like shaking away. I don't doubt it. I mean, it's in pretty rough shape. I mean, the hull itself it's a pretty sweet boat though. Don't really like the layout. I mean, the front deck, it's nice. It's a pretty good sized deck, but it's too low. Like, why the hell would they put the deck that low? I don't get it. I mean, the back pieces are tall. They're way up top above these side rails, which is awesome. They should have done the same thing up here, and it would have been a whole lot cooler. Now, they do have this one storage compartment up here, and this thing is full of bricks. Literally, bricks. I don't know. I guess it's counterweight. Not much weight in those little bit of bricks, but probably not too good on the hull either. I've heard of people using sandbags, a little bit less, damage, and who the hell knows. Anyways, yeah, this thing should have been a whole lot taller, and it would have been a whole lot sweeter. They could have brought it up right above these ribs right here, and then you could actually have some storage up underneath there, but it is what it is. We've got about 3 inches of mud in here. And these back areas. Now, for me, this is kind of dumb. I mean, why? Why not just have like one bench seat across here? I guess they want to have a place to sit and have your legs off to the side, but it's kind of stupid. You can see that obviously somebody's cut a hole in here and they got an access hole here and another one here. Who knows why? I mean, government, that's what they do. They just buy stuff, they treat it like shit, and then they just buy a new one. So I told the customer if he decides to keep this boat, he does have another one that's pretty much the same exact boat. I think he said he bought a couple of them from the auction. He's trying to figure out which one he wants to keep. Now, a lot of them came with a 25 horsepower Yamaha outboard, but this one came with some type of a surface drive motor, I'm pretty sure. I'll get some more information on that, but obviously they beat the hell out of this thing with a transom, and it is a lot of work. But I told him if he wants to keep this one, because we're going to fix this, and this is going to be better than factory when we're done, that we could really make something cool out of this. We could bring that front deck up, basically just remove all that, and then we could just bring it all the way back, just like we do all the boats, bring that front deck back at least 2 ribs, have these side pieces come all the way up, drop a big hatch in here, just like I did in that Monarch build, blank that face off, have a big hatch here, hatch, and he can have a really nice boat because the actual hull of it is pretty decent. I mean, they're nice quality boats, but unfortunately this one has just been beat to death. So what I'm going to do, what my plan is I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and cut through these little welds down here and this whole side right here. Got to cut all this off, remove this on both sides. Then we can get to this cap right here. Now this cap comes back down here like 3/4 of an inch. And technically that was one piece originally with the back piece of this transom, but we're just going to come back and cut it here. It's already split majority of the way and has been repaired before. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to take these rusted ass bolts out of here. Look at that. Woo! Snowing on me. We're going to take these out. We're going to weld these holes up. You can see the outline of where it used to have some type of a motor on here at one point in time. These are motor mount holes here and here. But these are, I guess, for the surface drive motor. We're going to fill in all these holes, though, because if he doesn't keep this boat and wants to give it to somebody else to sell it, then they might want to put just a regular outboard on here that has a little clamp-ons. You don't necessarily need the bolt holes in there. If they want them, they can re-drill them. But I'm going to get all those holes fixed up, and I'm going to take this off. And if you look inside of here, well, there's wood up inside of there. You can see it. See that? There's wood in there. So what my plan is once I get these two corner caps completely removed, I'm going to come back and cut this all the way across this side and take this top cap completely off. Then I'll be able to see inside of this piece of like tubing right here, and I can figure out if we're going to replace that with a piece of wood or if we're just going to put a piece of aluminum tubing in there. I'm leaning more towards the aluminum tubing because I don't like wood. Once we can see up inside of there, then we'll be able to figure out the best possible fix and how we're going to attack this. So I'll put you guys on the hyperlapse. I'm going to go ahead and cut these side panels and this top off of here, and we can see what we got going on inside of there. Let's get back to work. All right, so check it out, guys. Look, this is the work that's done by our U.S. government. Wow, this thing has been repaired multiple times over the past decade, and me in my garage with just a cutting wheel has done more than they've done in 10 years. So, yeah. Anyways, we did cut all this out. You can see this section in here has like a little piece of aluminum, like a false wall. And they dropped a board inside of here. Well, not just any board. It's literally a 2x6. A regular old 2x6. I don't know if that's pressure treated or not. I'm not a wood guy. It doesn't look like it is, but I guarantee you that that is not marine grade plywood. This is a piece of 2x6. It's 5.5 by 1.5 inch. Standard 2x6. You can buy that bitch from Lowe's for about $8 for an 8-foot section. And then literally it's just covered with a piece of broke form channel. I'm disappointed because I thought Sea Ark boats were pretty nice boats, but I mean, this is shit. Literally, like, it's shit. This whole thing is retarded. It's destined to fail. Why the hell would you go to all the work to make all these pieces and break form all of them and weld them together and just shove a damn piece of wood inside of there? Like, why not just use a tube, a piece of structural tubing? You can get some 6061 and you can make this out of tubing that's already formed, and you can use some thick, like 1/4 inch wall tubing, no wood, and he wouldn't have had this issue. But it is what it is. I am kind of disappointed in Sea Ark though, because I thought their boats were made a lot better than this, but after tearing this transom apart, well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because nobody does things the way they should, and I have very high standards. So anyways, we got to fix this son of a bitch now. We got to figure out the best way to do it, and I'm thinking that I just need to go ahead and chop all this shit out of here. I mean, it ain't no point in leaving it in there, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to at least bring this back over to here where this like side little deck pod thing's at, because that's welded up here. That's pretty strong. And I'm just going to cut this out. And I'm going to come back, put a new piece in here, replace this whole top section in here, about 3-foot section with a big 1/4-inch wall tube and put another one down there, and that'll fix all his issues. Then I can come back with a piece of 1/8 inch and I can build a cap for this. Just make like a channel, cap over it, weld it, and then we'll put these corner caps on. But we got a lot of cleanup to do. I mean, a lot of this shit looks like it was like aluminum arc welded. I mean, Jesus Christ. Are you serious? Like, our government paid somebody to do this shit. That shit right there, we paid somebody to do that. My tax dollars are not being used for what they should be used for. If our government wants some welding stuff done, then come holler at me, because I actually take pride in what I do, and I make it look good. Look at these welds down here. Holy. Wow. Look at that guy. Oh my God. That is an ugly son of a gun right there. While this boat is here, I am going to grind this down and re-weld this, just because it looks terrible. And you can see, like right here, he caught something. The scrape marks down the side. It dug in and it probably split this. And they took this to the shop where their welders just butchered this thing up, made it look like hammered dog shit. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not impressed with the Sea Arc boats, and I am highly disappointed in our American tax dollars paying our welders to butcher this shit up. So I'm going to cut the rest of this out. I'm going to get a game plan for all this, and then we'll circle back. All right, so last night while I was sleeping, I came up with the game plan of how I'm going to do this. If I replace this with a 2-inch tube, it's just going to be too big because this is only 1.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is basically just make my own little transom piece. Now, what I did was I cut this piece of 1/4-inch thick aluminum. This is heavy duty. And I got 2 of these that are 5 by 36. And then I have this piece of 1 inch by 1/8 inch thick rectangular square tubing. And this is structural. This is heavy duty stuff. My plan is to sandwich this 1/4-inch plate in between that. And that gives us 1.5 inches, which is exactly what this gap is right here, which is exactly what this 2x4 was. And if I hang it off this bottom, a 1/4 inch on either side, that leaves me a good place to put my weld, and we can make this 5 turn into 5.5, which will be the exact same size as the board that we took out of here. So that is my plan. I'm going to take this piece of tubing. It's pretty long, so I'm going to cut like 3 36-inch pieces, and then I'm going to cut a piece for the end. I'm basically going to make like a picture frame, just a rectangle out of this tubing, and then bring another one across the middle. I might see exactly where these holes right here are going to end up at, because I'm going to drop a tube right where they're at. That way that hole would go through all of this where he's going to bolt the motor on. It makes a lot of sense to do it that way. I'm going to figure all this out. I'm going to put you guys back in the hyperlapse. I'm going to put this frame together, weld this thing out solid. I also made a new cap plate right here. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is going to drop right over the transom once I get everything put back in there. And then I got these pieces here. This one's going to go on the outside of the boat. It's got a little taper on it, make it look aggressive. And then this piece right here is going to go on the inside, basically just like that. Cover all that up. I can weld that solid in there, make it a lot stronger. I'm going to get these bolts and nuts out of here and weld up those holes, plate this, and build that piece, and we'll circle back. Let's get back to work. All right, so check it out. This is our new transom. Man, that thing is solid. Heavy duty, nice and straight. Looks good. Welded it solid all the way around, both sides. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut this back just a little bit farther. I'm thinking I might be able to just sleeve it up underneath there and slide it back in where I want it. But I do gotta at least get it, back to here somewhere. So it might be enough, but I'm gonna try to clean up inside of here. I'm gonna take like a wire wheel and try to get the back of some of this corrosion and oxidization out of there, especially around where the holes are at. That way I can weld those holes solid once I get it in there too. Put you guys back in the hyperlapse. Let's get back to work. All right, so we got this thing wrapped up, and man, this was a lot of work. What in the world? A lot more than I bargained for. This thing was in terrible shape. I got these corner caps on here, a whole new transom in there. Put this new cap on top, threw a plate on the back, welded that thing solid all the way around. Also put another plate on the inside. Yeah, I welded that thing solid all the way around. I fixed a bunch of spots up inside of here. I mean, this whole transom was just shot, man. It's crazy. Obviously, it's been neglected for a while, but now it's fixed up, and this thing is heavy duty, sturdy. He could hang a 90 on this thing if he wanted to. I did my best to weld it as best I could. A lot of this aluminum was oxidized terribly. I actually ended up cutting like a ½ inch out of these side pieces and off the back, just because the welds that were on there were so bad and it was so oxidized that I needed to get back some good metal so I could put a decent weld on there. But I mean, this thing is strong as an ox, and it's straight, nice and straight. He's not gonna have any issues with this. He can hang any motor on here he wants to. It'll be fine. We gave this boat new life though. This thing is ready to go, and maybe we'll build this thing out. I don't know, it might be back on the channel. Like I said, he's got 2 of these, and I've already got an idea of how I can do this and how I can lay this out if he does want to build it out. So it could turn out pretty sweet. We'll see. A lot of work went into this though. A whole lot more than I bargained for. Looks really good though. All right, guys, so it's a wrap for this project. Man, it was a whole lot more than I bargained for, but it turned out sweet. We gave life to this boat again, man. It's ready to get out there and ride. I was not anticipating all of that welding, but it needed to be done. And there was no way that I could half-ass this job, give him a temporary fix. It just wasn't possible. But this thing now, it has a Trick 10's approval. And I went through probably about a quarter of a 10-pound box of filler rod, and I went through an entire bottle of gas welding this thing, and I wasn't really figuring on doing all that, but it's done. Hopefully the customer's gonna come pick it up very shortly, because I gotta get this thing out of here. I got 2 boats in the driveway, I got 4 boats at the shop, and I still got the Yinny over there trying to wrap this stuff up. But it's Friday night, and Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are about to fight, so I'm going to go inside and check that out. I just hope to God that Mike Tyson comes out there and lays this dude out in the first couple seconds of this fight, because it's Mike Tyson. I mean, he is literally one of the greatest and biggest icons in boxing history. Jake Paul got a lot of balls. I know he's going to make a lot of money off the fight, but if he doesn't lose to Tyson, then that thing's got to be rigged, man. Ain't no way in the world. I don't care if Mike Tyson's 58 years old. That dude could beat Jake Paul on the way to a fight. Anyways, guys, this project turned out pretty cool. We'll probably see this boat back. I got a good feeling that if we don't see this boat from this customer, he'll come back with another boat, because he was all about what we're doing and, you know, the boat builds and stuff. He wants to get a project boat done. So he'll be back with something eventually, but this one was a lot of work, guys. If you want something done like this, hit me up. I'll help you guys out. Not fun, but who else are you going to take this thing to? Nobody's going to put the time and effort into making this transom the way I did, especially not for the price I did it. Anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all watching and hanging out with me today. Hit that like, subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about what I did to this build. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get back to work.